Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The recitation is Maj Mahalla Panjwa Kar Duja. Nit Nit Dyu Samalieh, Mule na Mano Visarieh, Rahao Santa Sangat Paieh, Jit Jam ke Panth n Jaieh, Tosa Har Ka Naam Leh, Tere Kuleh na Lageh Gal Jiyo. ਜੋ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੇ ਸਾਈਐ ਨਰਕ ਨ ਸੇਈ ਪਾਈਐ ਤਤੀ ਵਾਉ ਨ ਲੱਗਈ ਜਿਨ ਮਨ ਉਠਾ ਆਏ ਜਿਉ ਸਈ ਸੁੰਦਰ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗ ਜਿਨ ਬਹਿਣੇ ਹਰ ਤਨ ਜਿਨੀ ਸੰਚਿਆ ਸਈ ਗੰਭੀਰ ਅਪਾਰ ਜਿਉ ਹਰਿ ਅਮਿਓ ਰਸਾਇਣ ਪੀਵੀਐ ਮੋਹਿ ਡਿਠੇ ਜਨ ਕੇ ਜੀਵੀਐ ਕਾਰਜ ਸਭ ਸਵਾਰ ਲੈ ਨਿਤ ਪੂਜਹੁ ਗੁਰ ਕੇ ਭਾਵ ਜਿਉ ਜੋ ਹਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਤਿਨਹਿ ਗੁਸਾਈ ਜਾਪਣਾ ਸੋ ਸੂਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਸੋ ਮਸਤਕ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਭਾਗ ਜਿਉ ਮਨ ਮੰਧੇ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਅਵਗਾਹੀਆ ਇਹੋ ਰਸ ਭੋਗਨ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀਆ ਮੰਦਾ ਮੂਲ ਨ ਉਪਜਿਓ ਤਰੇ ਸੱਚੀ ਕਾਰੇ ਲਾਗ ਜਿਉ ਕਰਤਾ ਮਨੇ ਵਸਾਇਆ ਜਨਮੇ ਕਾ ਫਲ ਪਾਇਆ ਮਨ ਭਾਵੰਦਾ ਕੰਤ ਹਰ ਤੇਰਾ ਥਿਰ ਹੋਆ ਸੁਹਾਗ ਜਿਉ ਅਟਲ ਪਦਾਰਥ ਪਾਇਆ ਪੈ ਪੰਜਨ ਕੀ ਸਰਨਾਇਆ ਲਾਏ ਅੰਚਲ ਨਾਨਕ ਤਾਰੀਅਨ ਜਿੱਤਾ ਜਨਮ ਆਪਾਰ ਜਿਉ Composition of the fifth Nanak Guru Arjan. At the very outset is the Rahau line, the pause, the reflection, which is Nit Nit Dyu Samalieh Moolana Mano Visarieh. Very straightforward. Always, at all times, it says, Nit Nit, remain self-aware. Never let self-awareness recede from the mind. Mool na mano visariya. That is the reflection. Self-awareness just doesn't happen. It has to be cultivated. It has to be developed. And so in the following section, the Guru says, Santa Sangat Paiya Jit Jam ke Panth na Jaiya. Discover self-awareness in the congregation of the wise. By doing so, we won't go down the wrong path. Jam ke panth. Jam translates into time, temporal. What is being said here is, don't go down a path that is limited, that will in fact tie you up in knots, full of obstructions, the tyranny of time, in other words. Being self-aware helps you to break off from that limitation. And so on this journey, Tosa har ka naam le tere kule na lage gal jiyo. This journey of life, make self-knowledge, har ka naam, your provision, Tosa. And in doing so, you will avoid bringing disrepute, gali, to your family, which is the human race. Kule na lagi gal jiyo. In other words, if you walk with self-awareness, are possessed of self-knowledge, you are indeed an exemplar to the rest of humanity. Jo simrande saiye narak na sei paiye. Those who remain in remembrance, that is to say in self-awareness, those who are self-realized, they don't live in hell. The word narak is literally translated as hell. It may or may not refer to a physical space, but the fact is that hell can also be the anguish of the mind, the anxieties of the mind. So not being in self-awareness creates a mindset that is anxious, that is frustrated, that is afraid. You probably recognize these characteristics of the mind because this is the mind in its ordinary day-to-day consciousness. It's constantly anxious, it's always afraid. So that is hell. So avoid it by living in self-awareness, by being self-realized. And those in whose heart the self dwells, jin manu vuttha aejiyo, they remain untouched, na lagi, by the hot inferno, tati vao. What is this hot inferno? It's material existence. There's a lot of heat that anxiety generates within us, that frustration generates in us. That is the heat, the tati vao, unfavorable circumstance. That is what is being talked about. And not only that, but say sundar sone, they are beautiful and attractive, those who sit in congregation with the wise ones. Har tan jinni sanchaya sai gambir apar jiyo. Har dan jinni sanchaya, those who have harnessed the treasure of self-knowledge. They perceive the profound and the infinite one. Gambir, deep, profound. Aparjio, without boundaries. What is happening with self-knowledge is that you see the unseen creative essence behind what is visible to the eyes. You see the connection and it expands your vision. And that is really what Guruji is calling Amyo Rasayan. It's a life-giving nectar, self-knowledge. And the Guru is saying, Mohaditi Janke Jivya, Jivo, come alive in the company of the wise ones. Submit to the teachings of the enlightener and fulfill your aspirations. Karaj sabbe sawar le, nit pujo gur ke paunjio. Here's the method. Sabad is the testimony to self-knowledge. So serve that teaching, serve the sabad. Jo har kita apana tina gusai japana. The self-realized, jo har kita apana, see and perceive the master of the universe. Tina Gosai, master of the universe, Japana. They perceive that presence everywhere. And they have been called the valiant ones. So Sura, Pradhan, they are indeed the exemplars. They stand out. And this is because they were destined. Mastak jiste bhagjiyo. Now, destiny works in strange ways. It really brings a lot of variables that we sometimes cannot put our fingers on. But to be destined is also to be prepared, to be motivated. All of these things come together. Man mande prab avgahya iho rasapo ganapat sahaya. To experience the self in the mind is like enjoying kingship. Patashanya, po ganapatashanya. What happens then is manda moolna upajyo tare sachi kare lagjiyo. There are no obstructions and obstacles that cannot be overcome when one applies oneself with self-realization. And that indeed is the fruit of human existence, the ultimate fruit, karta mane vasaya. When the creator self comes to abide in the mind, then you have achieved the fruit of human life. Janme ka phal paya. That is to say, fruitful is such a life when the beloved husband self dwells within. Then the union is a stable one. That means the mind is then in equilibrium. ਮਨ ਭਾਵਦਾ ਕਰ ਕੰਤ ਹਰ ਤੇਰਾ ਥਿਰ ਥਿਰ ਹੋਆ ਸੁਹਾਗ ਜੀਓ stable. Atal padarth paya, you found that eternal stable substance. Bhai panjan ki saranaya, by coming to the shelter of the destroyer of fear. Bhai panjan ki saranaya. Says Nanak, the Supreme Self attached me to the robe of its knowledge. Le anchal Nanak tariyan jitta janam apar jiyo. And so was my life successful. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.